Hi, I'm Kimberly Flores with the Salt Lake Chamber, and this month the Salt Lake Chamber is celebrating Women's History Month by highlighting women who are either leaders in the business community or in their local communities. And today I have the pleasure to be joined by Dr. Ruth Watkins. Dr. Watkins, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for the opportunity, Kimberly.
So, President-elect of the University of Utah, about to start in your new role here shortly. You've been with the U since 2013. But I'm sure you have a lot of new ideas of where you'd like to see the future of the university go under your leadership.
It's such a privilege to have the opportunity to lead in higher education and in an enterprise that changes people's lives. I think that's true. The powerful influence of education, of research, of creative activity, and of health and healthcare has such powerful impact in people's lives. And as I look to where we are and where we're going, the U is thriving, and we have enormous opportunities to continue that positive trajectory. We believe we can continue to do better and to help our local community as well as our world. So what an opportunity as we look forward.
Yes, and you made history becoming the first female president-elect of the University of Utah, soon to be the president of the University of Utah. What does that accomplishment mean to you?
Well, it's an incredible honor to be selected as the president of the University of Utah. And I know that it means a lot to our community. I've certainly had women express that to me, and honestly, I've had men express that to me as well, both in our student population, in our local community, and frankly in our national community, expressing what a great sign it is. As you know, or you may know, women are still not as highly represented in presidencies and universities, much as is true for CEOs at the same level as men. So I think it is important that we find talent everywhere and that we not overlook talented people from any background and provide those opportunities for leaders.
And here it appears that you were the best candidate, not female or male, but just the best candidate. You were the local candidate. The other two that were under consideration were from out of state. Let's talk a little bit about why maybe choosing the most qualified is the way to go, regardless of gender, race, any of those other identifiers.
I was quite honored to have incredible competition for this role. And I think what that tells us is the University of Utah is a wonderful place to be, an institution very much on the rise. So I feel particularly honored to have been selected from such a strong talent pool. And I also love that certainly I am a known individual in our community and a woman, but I'm also a strong and well-qualified candidate. So I appreciate you pointing that out.
But you had said that we don't see them in higher ed presidents and certainly in our business community as CEOs, but Utah is doing pretty well. You will be the third leader of a university or college in the state of Utah.
Yes.
Is that reflective of the progressiveness of our state or what's happening with the rest of the country?
I think probably both. I think I am honored to be able to join such talented women leaders in our state, at Utah State and at Salt Lake Community College. So that is a trend that's happening across the country. The progress has been not linear, I would say. I think I know in the roles of provost, for example, which is really the chief operating officer in a university, that the number of women leaders, I believe, has declined over the last decade in those roles. And that's often a gateway role to becoming a president. So I think we need to watch the pipeline and pathway of women in leadership in higher education as in business, because it is that pathway that will create the opportunities as people move forward.
You're saying we need to take a look at it, but are there any indicators of why you think that may be?
I don't know. I think the roles are challenging and time-consuming, and I think they're also incredibly inspiring opportunities, because with every door that is opened for each of us, we have the opportunity in turn to mentor and reach out to others around us. So there is an incredible opportunity. I think it is important to think about the pathway and the roles that prepare people for leadership. In the academy, it's often roles of department chair and or dean, other leadership roles, even informal leadership roles, leading significant committees that really give people the opportunity to move ahead in the institution.
Let's talk about your pathway. I think one of the most inspiring things about being able to sit down with female leaders like yourself is to learn a little bit about their history and how they got to where they are today. So tell us a little bit about your pathway.
So I would really want to give credit to the mentors that I've had along the way, and I have had many powerful forces that provided guidance and advice. As an undergraduate, I had a professor who said to me, "You're very bright, talented, you should think about a career in higher ed, in the academy, doing research." And I really was influenced by that guidance and advice. It helped me think about my potential in a different way. I also had a PhD advisor who was female, still active in the field, and she too a very powerful model. I think the people around you have an enormous influence on the potential you see in yourself, and that's a good thing for us all to remember, the role that we can have helping those around us.
In your very busy career, I'm sure, how do you find time to mentor other young female professionals?
So there are many opportunities every day. I see it, the opportunities that I have interacting with faculty, with staff, with other leaders in the institution. Mentoring comes in many forms. It comes in the model that you provide and the way you conduct yourself every day. The way you lead is a model for other leaders. I think that's maybe the most powerful model. Certainly getting to know people and taking an interest in them personally, and then providing the kind of help and assistance that you can for them when you see opportunities that you can steer their way. Both the formal and informal mentoring makes a difference.
What is your leadership style? You mentioned leadership. I'd like to know.
You know, I would say I had a pretty powerful influence in leadership style. A decade or so ago, I read an article about a professional athlete, and it was in the New York Times. And this athlete, very competent individual, played in a lot of teams, never the star. But everywhere this individual went, the team got better. The team performed better. I think if I thought about a legacy that I would like, or how I would like people to describe me, I'd say I want to be the person that wasn't necessarily the star, didn't need to elevate themselves, but everywhere I went, the team got better. The university performed better. The people around me got stronger. Talent came to the institution. We solved important problems. We helped students earn their degrees. That would make me happy if that was my leadership style.
Yeah, that is a wonderful legacy to leave behind if all of us could do that for our fellow colleagues, friends, and those coming up underneath us. What was the best piece of advice you've ever received?
You know, I guess I might think about that at a couple of levels.
Okay.
Professionally, I would say a very powerful bit of advice for me was that faculty member who took an interest in me and said, "You could do this. You could achieve at a higher level. Think about this for yourself. Think about a career in research." As I think about the course of my life, that individual probably had no idea the impact that was going to have, but it really changed my path. A couple of years ago, we hosted the Dalai Lama on campus.
Yes.
And so at a more personal level, I was very touched when the Dalai Lama said, "Be kind whenever possible, and it's always possible."
Yeah.
And that's not a bad way to live every day either.
Yeah, I like that one. I've heard him say that. What about the best advice that you like to give young professional women?
I've had some interesting experience giving advice. Sometimes my own students have asked me for advice, and I have learned that in the asking, I need to listen first before I offer my perspective. And when I think about kind of what that means, I think the advice I'd give people is to listen carefully to each other and then try to work towards what's the best solution or the best outcome. Listening first is a good strategy.
I think that goes under your leadership box, what must make you such a good leader. And I also like to ask this question because it is so transformative for everyone. Your biggest failure, what that was, and what you learned from it.
That is a hard question.
Mm-hmm.
I did not anticipate that.
Oh, sorry.
I think in seeking some leadership roles, I had so many opportunities given to me at the University of Illinois, where most of my academic and professional career was. And I thought that I should be the provost at the University of Illinois, and I sought that role. And I had a great competitor, and he ultimately was selected instead of me. And I think that was difficult because I had aimed for that role, and I thought that was the right match. And then the opportunities opened here at the University of Utah. And what an incredible opportunity it has been to join this institution, so much on an upward trajectory with so much to do, incredible opportunities to partner with new community, with a new academic community as well, and to move an institution forward. So what initially looked like a failure, that I didn't get what I wanted or what I thought was right, actually incredibly opened a door of opportunity for me that I never would have looked at had I had what I thought was the right path for me. And ultimately, what has happened here is remarkable, and the future here just as strong.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Watkins, we are so excited. You're so beloved in this community, and we're just excited to see what you're going to do with the University of Utah. So thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you very much. What an opportunity, Kimberly. I appreciate it.